took him, tempted him 40 days and all that, and took him up on a high pinnacle, and he said this to him, bow down and worship to me, and I'll deliver unto you all of these kingdoms. Right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Now how did Satan get all those kingdoms if God's the one that created all this?
Good question.
Adam gave them to him. Adam gave them to him. Jesus said, I'm not worshiping you. I've come to get them back legally, and I'm going to whoop you, and I'm going to get them back on my own. And I mean, Jesus died on the cross and went to hell and snatched the keys of all them kingdoms. My own idea. Slapped him in the face and marched right on out with all the folks and got it all back. Gave us authority. Hey, Jesus walking in the earth. I think this. Do you know that the disciples before the cross weren't saved? They were not born again. They did not have the Spirit of God inside of them like we do. They didn't have the Bible to study. Right? And then I saw this. Jesus said, you guys go out 2 by 2 and go into all these cities and heal the sick and cast out devils. Raise the dead. And they did. And I'm thinking, here are these knuckleheads, aren't even born again, aren't filled with the Spirit of God, and they're performing and getting more results than the church today is.
Yes, that's right.
I'm not against them guys. I love them, appreciate them, but I got a problem with that. Well, here's what I learned. Even though they didn't have the Spirit of God inside of them, they were operating in the authority of man. Unsaved, you have authority. Unsaved, you have authority. Now, what do you think it ought to be like before man gets saved? Man gets made new. Man now has the Spirit of God living inside of him. Not only inside of him, but upon him. Walking around in the earth with a renewed mind. Fellowship with the Father. And this book. I mean, them guys, they didn't have this. We got this. Now I can, not only can hear God and spend time with God, but I can read God. I can read what He says. It's not a mystery what it says. It's what His will is. It's not a mystery what His will is. It's not a mystery what His will is. Jesus came and lived His will. You can find the will of God in the life of Jesus. It's not a mystery. Jesus said, you've seen the Father, you've seen me. I do what I see the Father do. I say what I hear the Father say, right? It said in, I think it's Colossians 1, maybe 15. He's the He's the radiant glory, the visible of the invisible. He's the visible of the invisible. If you've seen Jesus, you've seen God. There's not two separate wills. Hebrews said He's the exact representation of His nature. Jesus, the exact representation of His nature. What it says. If we want to know what the will of God is, we can look at the life of Jesus. And Jesus healed everybody that wanted healed.
That's right.
He blessed people. He brought peace where they needed peace. He fed the hungry. He provided. He just blessed folks. Hey, people that were beat down by society and one rotten, no good sinners and condemned, He picked them up and gave them life and gave them a chance and gave them love. It's the will of God. This religious God that we've been taught about is so wrong. That religious God will never grow you up into who you are. Everybody good?
Yes.
Does anybody want some of it?
Yes.
Yeah, you just remember this. You're the only critter that's got a foot on both shores, alright? You have more power than you've ever been told or thought possible. And we can ask God, here's our prayer, all right? Everybody want it? We can ask God to make what He says come alive inside of us. And we can live in that place where we're an open window to where heaven just floods, just out of your belly shall flow rivers of living water. You know where that river starts? And it can flow out of your belly and soak everybody that you come in contact with, because you're a believer. All right? If that's your prayer, say, I do.
I do.
All right. Love you. You guys. Oh my goodness. You did it again. All right. Healing School. First Monday in February, and I don't miss it, all right? I'll see y'all next Thursday or sometime or what. And if anybody needs healed tonight, don't leave here without getting some of it, all right? There's some believers in here. Any affliction in your body that's not going to be in heaven does not belong on you now. Is that all right? If you need help getting it, then we'll help. I like helping, all right? You guys want to sing?
Yeah.